Hey folks, so I don't quite know what the date today is today. Are we recording? Yeah, we are. Today is a date in January. It's the 27th of January 2020. Fuck. Officially the first, I guess, video of the year. Not like that makes any fucking difference, but you know. So various little updates, I suppose. Nothing. The updates are nothing. Fuck all has happened. There has been nothing constructive whatsoever. We have collectively been on a creative standstill. Not that there's kind of lack of creative stuff happening in the background, just nothing solid. Life has been kind of a stall. Pip and I have both basically, for the first time in a while, just said no. We stopped working. We sat on our asses over the weekend, and basically over Christmas I spent a full freaking week playing video games. It was pretty fun. I played through the new-ish, it'll be late-ish now, Call of Cthulhu on PS4, which was really fun. I've never actually played like proper role-playing games sitting around a table with other people before, but as a suggestion, if you're into that kind of thing, or if you like cosmic horror, they handled the Lovecraftian elements really well. I would have liked a little bit more, but you know, it was a great time. I was fully engaged 2000% for the duration. It took me about 6 hours or so to play it through, but I sat and that was what I did. And I was so excited by my gaming experience, I went and I bought The Sinking City, which is another Lovecraftian one, totally different game. Basically a go and fetch this and come back game. So less fun. They managed to weave in a little bit more of the kind of like Lovecraftian mythos, I guess. It was a little bit more ham-fisted in its handling of the material. Like there was a reference here, and instead of calling Innsmouth folk, they call them Innsmouthers, which was strange. I liked the character designs, which was quite interesting. There was elements of, like, if you took all the various factions within, like, the Lovecraftian canon, stuff like the King in Yellow and, God, was it the history of Arthur Germain? I've probably got that wrong. I'm thinking about Jermaine Clements. Sorry, bud. Basically, it was a guy who, spoilers here, at the end of the story, he discovers that he was his grandmother was a monkey, so he naturally kind of walks out into the garden and pours petrol on himself and sets himself on fire. So there was a throwback to that. Like I said, you had the Innsmouth folk, you had a pseudo kind of Cthulhu-esque thing, which, like I said, it was not quite as artfully handled as the Call of Cthulhu game, but it was an okay time. I might not be, like the game dynamics of things like that, I'm not the target market for it, in the same way that I've played through pretty much all of the God of War games multiple times because I just dig what it is. It's filthy and it's bloodthirsty and it's engaging and you're in. And then by the same thing, I got 3 hours into the latest God of War one, which came out year before, which is simply called God of War, and I like the idea of the development of Kratos as a character, but I tapped out, man. Like the dynamic of the game is not why I play games. I play games to play games. That's completely unsolicited and completely worthless and needless expenditure on things that no one cares about. But other than that, I am, of course, sort of in my sitting around on my butt, preparing to write a story. I can't really announce what it's for yet because it's not my story to announce. But basically, Pip and I got tapped to write stories for a company, which is quite cool. And she's busy putting together hers at the moment. She's got a couple of ideas. She's busy doing her research. And I'm doing mine by watching and listening to every Lovecraftian thing I can possibly find, just to kind of get back into the headspace and see if I can come up with a fresh angle. I'm feeling like writing something about Innsmouth, because with all the changes that have been going on in my life, in my existence, in everything, and there have been some major kind of shifts in my personal life, and I figure that there's some really wonderful parallels, and I'm starting to rediscover why the stories appealed to me, and that's been quite cool. Very cool for me anyway. I don't know if that's going to come through in the fiction, but yeah, I hope. With that, I gotta dash. I may or may not upload this today, but probably go out tomorrow. Winter is wintry. Jim is looking considerably less Christmassy, which is a nice touch. The Christmas tree stayed up later than it goddamn should have. Again, with the sitting around on our butts and just doing nothing, it really has been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the trenches and getting to it. But this has been a welcome rest, and far more necessary than I realized. So, with that, folkies, links are in the description to check out books and all the rest, and you can come and see what we're up to at mykpilgrim.com, which will link you to kind of our publishing site and all the other stuff. We've of course got 2 Patreons, one for horror stuff on Deadflicks, and the other for Pugnacious Press, which is all kinds of scans of notebooks since the beginning of time, or the beginning of my time. Potato. All the links are in the doobly-doo, but there's a weird thing with kind of like 18 restricted Patreon accounts. Apparently you can't search for them, so you have to actually either enter the name or click a link. So it's patreon.com/Deadflicks, that's DEADFLICKS, or patreon.com/Pugnacious Press. And yeah, there's always fun new content and all the rest, and I'm going to stop selling shit, so I'm going to go. Bye!